Welcome, my political friends of the interwebs, and welcome to the loyal opposition, the voice of the loyal opposition. Listen, before I even start this, I want to sincerely thank all of you that have sent me very nice PMs requesting that I get my sorry ass back into the trenches and start fighting. I'm really humbled and grateful that so many of you seem to really like what I have to say. Although my predictions are a little off. But, you know, that is what it is. But seriously, for those of you who sent me PM saying, hey, keep your chin up, don't go away permanently, come back, we need you, what? Thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart. I can't tell you how much that means to me. Okay, so enough of the niceties. I'm working on a video that's going to be addressing the whole Benghazi / Petraeus / Hillary Clinton / poor sorry bastard Patsy that's in prison right now, also known as political prisoner number one, at least number one that we know of. There may be others, I don't know. I'm working on that video. I hope to have it up tomorrow, sometime this weekend. And yeah, it's just some of the stuff. I'm not a big, real quick, I don't want to dwell too much on it. I'm not a real big conspiracy person, but holy crap. Some of the stuff that I've come up with is just scary. Scary, scary, scary stuff. I did want to talk real quick. Listen, heads up, gun owners. This is coming. This is coming. This is a test, a balloon test, or what do they call it, pilot test. Chi-Town, Chicago. By the way, I'd be very curious to see what Marvin the Boon has to say about this. But Chi-Town is instituting a $25 per firearm tax. Now, and I don't have to explain to anybody that watches me on a regular basis what this liberal wet dream of a tax is supposed to do. It's supposedly going to curtail the outbreak of gun violence in Chicago by giving a $25 tax, because, you know, most gangbangers buy their guns legitimately. And so they're exposed to that $25 tax. So as you can imagine, as said gangbanger is looking at which gat he's going to use to pop a cap in some hoe's ass, you know, he's looking at $25. Oh, I just can't do that. No. I was going to cap an ass tonight, but I can't cap an ass tonight because I ain't got that extra $25. So, Rahm Emanuel, you are saving the universe. So, listen, and I know I'm being flippant about this. This is really serious business, because if we allow them to get away with this, because this is clearly infringing on our Second Amendment rights. If we allow them to get away with this, where does it stop? What says? I mean, I don't even know how they came up with the number 25. But hey, you know what? Let's say you go in to buy a Glock, and there's a $150 blood tax for it, just in case you decide to kill somebody. You know, it's a deterrent. It's a deterrent tax. Only liberals think of taxes as ways to motivate people to do one thing or another, or not to do one thing or another, or both. And I believe me, I will have a video up sometime fairly soon about the tax that I have to pay every year, called the unmined coal tax, or also known as the unmined minerals tax, that is levied on me as an incentive for me not to sit on my minerals, to sit on my coal. I don't even want to get into that, because I'll just start throwing shit. Okay, but I will do that video. Believe me, I have a lot to say, because I am negotiating that shakedown as we speak. I'll tell you all about it. So anyway, listen. So there's a $25 tax in Chicago on firearms. Now, if you read some of the things that's being said by the powers that be, and I'm telling you who it is Rahm Emanuel, former chief of staff of Barack Hussein Obama. Okay, it's funny because they supposedly it's to help offset the cost of health care. because a lot of the victims of the shootings in Chicago apparently do not have health care. Well, don't we have Obamacare now? What's this? I mean, I know it's not fully, kicked in yet, but so when Obamacare does kick in, do they remove this $25? Because then, if that's their excuse, that's no longer part of the burden. So there's a $25 tax to help offset the cost, the healthcare cost. So here's the interesting thing about that. Now, I don't really know. I don't dive into crime statistics. But say you've got the Bloods and then you've got the Crips. I'm assuming that both those groups are most likely unemployed. I mean, they're employed in an underground sense, and what I mean by that is, they're selling crack and heroin and prostitution and all that stuff. But they're not working above ground or above table. So, I mean, there's no actual financial record of their working. So I can only assume that they qualify for Medicaid. It's very confusing. It's very confusing. Here's another. Listen. Seriously, in all seriousness, all bullshit aside, we need to try to defeat this kind of nonsense, because this is the kind of nonsense that literally will spin out of control. And by the way, I lived in Chicago. Chicago has, and always has had, as far back as I can remember, some of the strictest gun laws in the United States. And clearly that was not doing anything to curb their violence. And that may also be by the way, it may be why they've kind of threw that healthcare issue in there as well. I don't know. This is a disturbing trend, and I'm going to tell you right now. And as you can imagine, since Rahm Emanuel, the mayor of Chicago, was Barack Hussein Obama's chief of staff, they've talked about this. So this may actually be the pilot program of something that you will see on a national level. Yeah. So, one more thing about taxes in Chicago. They're raising the tax. They're throwing another buck onto cigarettes. And that will make Chicago apparently the second most expensive city to buy a pack of cigarettes in the nation. Now, what's interesting about that for me is that when I lived in Chicago, I was a smoker. I smoked for 18 years. Have not had a cigarette in many, many years now, but I did smoke for 18 years. And I can remember when I first moved to Chicago, and this might date me a little bit, but I went down to the local carryout, can't remember, White Hen or something like that, and I went to buy a pack of Marlboros. My cigarette was Marlboro Light 100s in the box. That was my thing. So I go down there, and it's like it's downtown Chicago, so it's reasonably dangerous. And there's like a booth, and there's this thick, kind of glass, and the guys behind there's a little window that they slide. You slide your money in, and they slide the cigarettes out. So anyway, I'm looking down at my wallet, and I'm rummaging through my wallet for cash. And I said to the guy, "So I'd like a pack of Marlboro Light 100s in a box." And he said, "All right." And then I'm looking through my wallet, and he says, $5. And I said, and I didn't even look up yet. I said, "No, I only want one pack." And then I started to look up, and I could see that that's all he had. It was one pack there. I had come from a place where a pack of Marlboros was like $2.45. I mean, So that was my first experience with big city, big government. It was disturbing, to say the least. So now you're going to have to pay $10 a pack, which is about what was being charged in Ottawa, Canada, about 6 years ago when I was there. But, the reason that Ottawa, Canada was charging $10 a pack for cigarettes is because they had that GST tax. They were paying for their free health care. Well, but Chicago, $10 for a pack of smokes in Chicago? Do they got free health care there? I mean, well, apparently the gun owners are buying the health care there now, or subsidizing it. I don't know. It's a crazy, crazy, crazy world we live in, and it's getting crazier by the day because the lunatics have taken over the asylum. They literally have. And they're all Democrats. So anyway, listen, I'm not going to keep you any longer than this. I just thought it was interesting. Watch this gun tax. Marvin DeBoone, let me know what you think about this, because I know you're right in that whole Chicago area. let me know in the comment section, do you think this is going to be a national thing? Do you think there's going to be a Barack Obama saying, look, we're going to tax firearms on a national level because we need to offset the cost of the violence that this is, the healthcare cost, whatever. I mean, they love using that. They do that for everything. Whether it's cigarettes, any kind of vice issue, you know, it's all about, you know, subsidizing the cost and all that. So, or offsetting the cost, I should say. Let me know what you think about that, and let me know what you think about if you smoke and you live in a big city and you're paying this kind of dollars for smoking. Let me know, how's that make you feel? Because that's not the Republicans doing that to you. That's a Democratic thing. Go down south, and I'm telling you. Well, anyway. Oh, listen, real quick. Pinto beans. Pinto beans. Okay, this is a number 10 can, and I paid $10.59. This will last for my lifetime, forever. It'll last forever. I think it's like rated at like 30 years or something like that. And there is 47 servings, or 20 of my type of servings. Listen, high in protein, good carbohydrates. You can survive on pinto beans. I'm not kidding you. Like I said, I paid, you know, let's just say a little under $11 for it. I bought it locally. There's a shop not far from me that sells a lot of stuff like that. I like to support, as most of you know, I like to support the local shops, the local businesses. That's just how I am. But you can find this on the internet, and I'm not pumping this particular brand. But this is Augustin Farms, and I think they've got a website. I don't know, but here's my point to all that. Like I told you in my last video, I do believe in my heart, and I know that some people don't agree with this, but I do believe in my heart that shit's going to hit the fan sooner than later. And I don't know if it'll be this year, I don't know if it'll be next year, but it's going to happen, and I think somewhat by design. I mean, I don't want to sound like Alex Jones or anything like that, because that's not who I am. But I will tell you that the number one thing that you need to do, and I'll show it in my next video, but you need to get some kind of way to purify water. You have to. You have to. You can go to Dick's Sporting Goods or any sporting goods store. Go to AMP3 online. They've got a way to at least get a drinking bottle full of pure water. But get yourself a way to purify water. Number one, more important than food, anything else, because you cannot survive without water. Get yourself, stock up on some food. Something like this is money well spent. It's $10. It'll last for 30 years. So if I'm wrong, and my predictions have not always been 100%, you're not losing out. It's always going to be there. If anything, that hurricane in the Northeast should have showed that shit can happen. It can happen, and it happens in a hurry. So find yourself in a situation where you have enough food to get you through. Now listen, for an emergency situation like hurricane or something, I'd have 30 days worth of food and water, or at least the ability of purifying water, and a water source. Having the ability to purify water without a water source isn't going to help you much. But like my neighborhood here, there's creeks here and there, and I know where they're at. I go down, I fill a 5-gallon bucket up, I bring it home, and I purify it. I put it into a gallon water jug. But if you're nowhere near a water source, then you're going to have to figure out other things for water storage. You're going to have a reasonable amount of water. But be prepared, people. This isn't going to ever be a prepping channel. It's not my thing. Okay, I mean, I consider myself a prepper, but this is not going to be a prepping channel. It's going to be a political channel. It's going to be a political talk channel. But the way things are going right now, listen, here's the other thing. And I know I wasn't going to make this a long video. And please, if you've stayed with me this long, please stay with me a little bit longer. I hear a lot of talk right now about people going out and buying guns out to yin-yang. They're buying guns and they're buying ammo. They're buying ammo and they're buying guns. Listen to me. If you already have, okay, this is very important. If you already have your defense weapons, if you already have a 22 and a shotgun and an AR or an AK, and you have a few thousand rounds of ammo, but you don't have any way to purify water, you don't have any water stored up, and you don't have any food, you're a fool. Stop buying guns and take care of your preps. Now, if you don't have a significant amount of ammo and you don't have a reasonable amount of firearms, then sure, get those things. Because it won't matter how much food you have if you don't have a way to protect it. That's just a fact. I mean, there are people that will argue that. But the truth of the matter is that when shit hits the fan, you better have some firearms, or whatever you do have will be the property of somebody that does have firearms. So, yeah, it is what it is. However, having said that, listen, if you've already got a cache of weapons and ammo, and you're not supplied with food or ways to purify water, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Just saying. So, anyway, that's all I got. I'm back. I'm back. Like I said, I just need a little time to recharge the batteries. And this is going to be a rough ride, people. It's going to be a little bumpy, a little turbulent. But we will get through it, God willing. And anyway, until the next video, like I said, I will have a lot to say about Benghazi and the... well, we'll get to that later. See ya!